Hey guys!
Hello.
Welcome to this week's episode of OurDisAdventures. What are we going to talk about today?
We're going to go over a Chicago trip.
Yep, we're going to go over basically everything that we experienced and
our favorite moments, what we liked about it,
a couple of different tips, where we stayed, what we liked about it. Well, you already said that, but yeah, all that good stuff. So we're going to talk about all of it. So yeah, let's dive on in.
So to start off, we actually stayed at a place called the Hyatt Place. It was a wonderful hotel. We enjoyed every moment there. We got there right at check-in. So right when we were able to check in, and we thought that it would be too late because it was approaching 9 o'clock, I think, when we got there. But they were still serving breakfast, and we were kind of debating whether or not they would actually let us eat because we were really hungry. And we said, hey, is breakfast still open? They said, yeah, go right on in.
Yeah, I kind of found that, like that as an example just kind of shows exactly how accommodating they were. They, anything that we had a question about, they were there to answer for us, and they always were thinking about what would be best for the people that are staying there. So it wasn't like, we didn't even, I don't think we asked. They just told us. They were like, hey, if you guys are still hungry, grab some breakfast or something like that, And they told us at the end of our trip that they'll watch our bags if they needed us to leave them with them. And
yeah, because I think checkout was a little bit earlier than when we were actually planning on leaving. So we just went up there and said, hey, can we leave our bags here? And they said, of course you can.
Yep. So if you're looking for a place to stay, we were at the Hyatt Place. It is on the Loop, about 4 blocks from Willis Tower.
And the closest train station to it is Washington and Wells. So if you're ever in Chicago.
About a block.
Yeah.
Which is pretty quick. So if you're staying there in the winter, being close to the trains is
a miracle.
Yeah, that's very nice. And so I think that actually kind of segues into the next thing, is the trains.
By far the easiest way to get around the city.
It can get you in pretty much any general direction that you're looking to go. And while the map of all the trains can kind of look a little daunting, there is a lot of lines that go through there.
We picked it up pretty quickly. Yeah. Within the first day, both of us got really good at being able to navigate those maps.
Yeah, and if you go to Google and you look up the maps of the Chicago trains, you can actually get, and there's a map that I was using a lot that shows each line, and it has arrows pointing the directions that they go.
Because there's a pink line, but the pink line goes that way. And it also goes
a couple times. Even though we had that map,
we'd get up there.
There were times that we kind of messed it up because we were
oh no, this train's going in the wrong.
We were cold, and so we were kind of just hopping on trains, and then we found out that we got on the wrong one. We did that a couple of times. And if you happen to take the wrong train somewhere, it's really easy to just hop on a different train going back the way you needed to. You don't have to re-scan your card to do that again. You can just...
Once you're inside the train station, you're in.
Yeah.
You don't have to keep going through the gates and stuff. It's kind of like once you get into an airport, you're in.
The cards that you use for the trains, they're called Venture cards.
Yes.
So for Venture cards, I want to say we got 3-day passes.
Yes, we got 3-day passes, and then on the very last day, we picked up another pass.
Yeah, a 1-day pass.
For last day, because we decided to do some more stuff for us.
That was, I'm pretty sure it was $40 for 2, so I think it's $20 for a 3-day pass. Which, if you use the train as much as we did, that's worth it, because
well worth it. We probably saved about twice as much money.
Yeah, I think alone, if you're just flying in from, if you're flying into Chicago and you want to take a train into the city, if you're staying in the city, the trip from the airport to the city alone on the train is probably worth the Venture card compared to an Uber or a taxi or something like that. I mean,
it's a long.
Yeah,
it's a long way. The airport's
ways.
Pretty far away from downtown.
So for $20 and you get 3 days out of it, and then you get all the way to the city,
3 days and unlimited uses within those 3 days.
So we found it to be well worth it. So let's talk about some of the things that we did while we were in Chicago.
We did a lot.
Yeah, we did.
I think one of the things that I was most looking forward to while we were planning this was just being able to look at all of the art museums.
Oh yeah.
There are, I think, 3 off the top of my head. We went to 2, so we did the Museum of Contemporary Art, the MCA. It was something. That was definitely something.
If you're into contemporary art, it's probably the place for you. We haven't really found our love for contemporary art yet. Maybe later.
Maybe later in life.
We're still we haven't found it yet. We're looking for it.
Both of us, we just enjoyed to no end the Art Institute.
Oh, it was a lot.
It was so amazing. It was an art museum and just also kind of almost a history museum, because the further you went into it, it just never ends.
Oh, yeah,
it just kept going. We spent probably 6 hours or something in there.
A while.
We spent like the majority of the day in there, and we didn't even see everything.
Yeah, we didn't finish, and they have stuff that is super old in there. So, I mean, it's kind of neat to see, because when we first got in there, we were looking at things, and it was like 100 years old, a couple hundred years old.
Yeah, we're like, wow, these paintings are super old. And then we get down into the lower levels, and we see pottery that's a couple thousand years old, and they just kept getting older. Yeah. And both of us are really interested in that sort of stuff.
That's super neat stuff to see. And I mean, I don't know who wouldn't be interested in seeing something like. Imagine how crazy that is. Like.
Yeah, there was pottery that people used.
Yeah.
Thousands of years ago, they had an exhibit going on for a famous sculptor, Rodin. He was there, and all of his more famous sculptures, the ones.
That one.
Probably recognize that one. That was really neat to see.
Man.
Because
I think that's what it's called.
I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. That's a huge piece of modern culture. Most people see pictures of that by the time they're children, and to see it actually in person was amazing. Mm-hmm.
We also saw the beam.
We did. We saw the beam.
Cloud gate. It's super cool.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know whether I liked it more at day or night.
I think I definitely liked it more at night.
Really?
Yeah.
That was neat to see all the buildings lit up, like reflecting.
You got a perfect panoramic view of the city skyline.
It's pretty cool.
Reflected pretty much perfectly in this giant metal sculpture.
At the right angle, you won't even see it.
Yeah.
Because it's all reflecting. So that's kind of cool. And then being able to see it during the day was also awesome. So, Willis Tower.
Oh, that was so much
Super
fun.
tall.
Super tall.
I don't remember how tall it was. It was like, I don't want to go too high, but it was over 1,000 feet.
It was, definitely.
It was
over 100 stories tall.
Super tall.
I think it was about $20. You can do what was it called, the sky deck?
Yeah.
And you could go out onto these glass balconies and look down.
That's cool.
Through, just straight to the ground, like 130 something floors down. It was really cool. Definitely worth it.
If you're not into standing on the glass floor when you're up there, you don't have to do it. It's completely optional. There's actually long lines for it anyway. You have to kind of
pick a line,
really find it and get in line for that. But if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. They also just got windows you can look out, which is
telescopes. They have little maps, so when you're looking out, they tell you where certain locations are, and you can see them. What was it? We could see into a different state.
Oh yeah.
From the top of the tower.
We could also see our hotel.
We could. It took us a while to find it, but we did.
Yeah, that was neat. The crowning jewel of Chicago. The birthplace of Walt Disney. This is...
They named the street after the family.
Yeah, like the honorary, Disney Family Avenue.
Disney Family Avenue, Boulevard, something like that.
That was super cool. It's the house that Walt Disney was born in. Elias Disney, his father built that house and he was born inside that house. He was like born on the second story.
Yeah, they have, since in the past few years, been going through the process of rebuilding the building to be as close to the original structure.
But we ended up having to walk like how far was that?
A couple miles.
Yeah.
I think
miles.
it was 2 miles.
In the snow.
In the snow.
In 6 feet of snow.
We trekked 6 feet of snow uphill both ways.
Both ways.
Just to see this house.
Uphill both ways.
Uphill.
But going back, it was still uphill.
It was still uphill. Man, it felt uphill.
It was a long walk and it was very cold, so.
It's very cold.
Felt that
it was
way.
Definitely worth seeing. I'm glad that we
Yeah,
have those
for sure.
pictures.
That was awesome.
The food.
It's good
Chicago has great food.
stuff. They also have some great ice cream. A Ghirardelli. We
Ghirardelli.
gotta say it.
They got 2 of them
Yeah, they do.
in downtown Chicago.
And we hit them both.
We did.
We talked
Jake
about
wanted
that.
to do it twice in one day.
Yeah, we talked about that too. We were like, well, they
If
got
we
2.
eat now,
Yeah, they got 2 Ghirardellis, so
and they're both in the same place.
yeah, like if we're going to Chicago,
We
we
hit
gotta
one
go to
in
both.
the morning for breakfast, and then we can get dinner at Ghirardelli again later tonight.
Why not?
Why not?
We ate at Hard Rock, which is not like a Chicago-style restaurant, but it's one of those restaurants that you don't always find in your hometown, depending on where you live, I guess. But we don't have any around us. They're normally in a lot of like destination cities.
Yes.
So that was nice to eat there.
We saw Steven Tyler's outfit.
Steven Tyler's outfit. We saw
The Styx drum set.
Yeah,
I think that's what it was.
Jimi Hendrix's guitar was one of them. A guitar from Cheap Trick.
Yeah.
There was all kinds of stuff.
Saw Fall Out Boy's suit.
Yeah.
Patrick's suit.
Other restaurants we ate at Portillo's. I had hot dog. You had what did
I
you
had
have?
a bacon hamburger. I ended up having a hot dog. An American dog.
American dog and
American
burger.
dog.
That was so good.
That was so
Oh,
good.
man. It wasn't a Chicago style dog, but man, it was awesome. That was
Yeah, Portillo's is definitely a staple of Chicago. If
for sure.
If you're going to go to Chicago and you don't want to eat there, just go inside.
Oh yeah.
The place is crazy. They've got cars hanging from the ceiling, mannequins, a giant clock that we could not figure out if
Yeah,
it was
we couldn't
working.
know if it worked.
We decided at one point that it was moving at the right speed, but no, who was in charge of it hadn't turned it back. I
Yeah.
think.
It was the wrong time
It was the wrong
completely.
time.
The minute hand didn't line up, and that's a big giveaway.
So we had to get pizza. In Chicago, we had to get pizza, so we went on a request, not a request, but a referral to Pequod's. I had a deep dish pizza. You had a thin crust
Yeah, not so thin crust.
pizza. And you can't go to Chicago and get a New York style pizza, which is the kind of pizza that he likes.
I'm a thin crust kind of guy, so
I'm a deep dish girl.
the pizza was very good.
It was good. They had amazing sauce.
Oh, they did, yeah. A couple little tips for if you're planning on going in the winter and it's going to be as cold as it was when we were there. Got something?
Be prepared. I know, like, especially if you live in a warm state, even if you live like in the Chicago vicinity and the surrounding states, it gets cold.
So what I would recommend is when you pack your stuff for Chicago, pack warmer than you think you need to pack. So if you pack a certain amount of layers, pack an extra layer. If you have a pair of boots, like if you shovel snow or anything like that, if you have boots that have any kind of like kind of lining inside them that keeps you warm, do that because tennis shoes your feet will get really cold in tennis shoes, especially if there's snow on the ground. So
your feet will get wet.
wearing boots, that was probably the biggest lifesaver for me.
Oh yeah, especially since they put down so much salt that it actually kind of gets slippery.
Oh yeah.
Because it's basically like walking on loose gravel sometimes. And the traction that our boots gave us really helped us from slipping and just busting our faces on those staircases up to the trains.
Yeah.
Well, I think that about wraps it up. We had so much fun going to Chicago. We hope you guys enjoyed watching the videos. We definitely had a lot of fun making them.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We had a beautiful view of a brick wall from our hotel room.
Gotta mention our brick wall.
Honorable mention, brick wall.
Very attached to our brick wall.
We liked it. We were sad to see it go. I mean,
Yeah.
it didn't go anywhere. That would be weird. But
We left.
yeah,
Definitely.
we left the brick wall, and we still feel bad about it.
I miss a brick wall.
So, if you guys haven't seen all the Chicago videos, make sure you go back and look at them because
They're waiting.
yeah, they're there.
They're there.
They're all up, all done,
Mhm.
all done. So we'll see you guys next week. I think we're planning on doing a video on all the different plans we have for this summer and things we're gonna do. So
So if you're looking forward to seeing, what we have planned, we got some plans.
got some plans.
Can't wait to tell you what they are. I've been sworn to secrecy for the moment, but I'd tell you if I could.
We'll tell you next week. So
Guess you'll just have to stick around.
make sure you tune in. We will see you next Monday, and
Have a great
that's it.
day, everybody.
yeah, bye.
Bye.